Hello friends, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We are going to be measuring on a number line today. So we're going to be using centimeters and inches, and then we'll do a few problems that have to do with meters. All things that we've already talked about up until now. So it's kind of like a review. At this point, you should know how to measure things, even if you don't have a yardstick or a meter stick. You should have some sort of measuring something at home that you can measure, even just the small things. So let's look at what we have here. We have an eraser and we have some scissors. And it's asking us to first measure how long the eraser is, or how long, let's start with the longest one. So let's look at the scissors. The scissors are, and I probably didn't place this exactly the way I should have, or must have moved when I took the picture. But this end of these scissors should be right at this line. So right where this ends should probably be over closer to the 13. So we're going to say that the scissors are 13 centimeters, because look up here, we're measuring in centimeters. So I'm going to write a 13 for the scissors. And how long is my eraser? So let's look at a number line that we're measuring on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 centimeters. So if I wanted to know how much longer the scissors are than the eraser, I've already set up my problem down here. They helped us set it up. I would take the length of the scissors, which is this one, right? And the length of the eraser, which is that one. I'm going to find the difference, or I'm going to subtract. And that's how many more centimeters my scissors are than my eraser. So if I take 13 and I take away 6, I'm left with 7 centimeters. So my scissors are 7 centimeters longer. Another way you could do this is just count the difference. So if I start here where my eraser ends, let's use a different color so you can see it a little better. So if I start right here where my eraser ends and I count all the way to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same number, right? That's the difference. Okay, so with most questions, it'll probably be easier to do it this way if we set it up. But to double check your answer, you could always count those spaces. Okay, so let's turn the page. Let's go to page 710 and do a few more problems together. At the top of page 710, they've given us a few more examples. They've given us a paper clip and a crayon. And so they're asking us how long the paper clip or the crayon is first. So we're right here. The crayon is 9 centimeters. Well, how did they figure that out? Because I don't have a 0 here and I don't have a 9 here. But what I could do is I can count my spaces, right? So even though this doesn't start at 1 and this doesn't go all the way to 10, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because each of these spaces is equal to 1 centimeter. And I know that because it says centimeters at the top. So let's write a 9 in here for the crayon. And the paper clip, we could do the same thing. We can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the paper clip is 5 centimeters long. Okay, we could do the same thing. We could use the number line right down here for the pencil and the marker and also the rubber band. So let's look at what they're asking us as far as measurement wise. Number 1 says, how long is the pencil? Again, I don't have a 0 here, so I'm going to have to count my spaces. So let's count them together. We're going to start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in this case, they're using inches. So my pencil is 5 inches long. Okay, number 2 is asking how much longer is the marker than the rubber band? Okay, so since they say the marker than the rubber band, and I could see here Marker is longer. I'm going to take the length of the marker first. I'm going to count that first. Let's use, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right over here, I'm going to write a 6. Okay, and I'm going to find the difference. So it's going to be a subtraction problem. Because remember, less than or more than. So this one, the marker is longer than. So I'm going to start with the length of the marker, and I'm going to take now the length of the rubber band. So let's use a different color so we could see a little better. So let's start here where the rubber band starts, right? It starts right there. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and it ends there. So I'm going to take my 6, I'm going to subtract the length of the rubber band, which was 3 inches. And I'm left with 3 inches. So to answer how much longer the marker is than the rubber band, it's 3 inches. Now on the talk math part, let's just talk this out a little bit. How does the number line help you compare measurements? Well, for one, you can see the measurements and you can kind of use your eyes, first of all, to see which one is longer. But then you can count the spaces, right? To find out how much something is longer than or shorter than, right? Okay, so let's turn the page now to page 711. Okay, on the top of page 711, they're asking us to use this number line. So this is the number line we're using to answer questions 3 through 8. Now I want you to notice something. Look, we don't start at a 0 like we would if we were using a ruler, right? We would start right at the 0 and measure. Also, these objects don't start right at the beginning, but they do allow us to measure because, again, we can count the spaces that they are, their length, right? So let's look at number 3 for an example. So if I want to see how long the glue stick is, I am going to count how many spaces long it is. So it starts right here. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll look up here to see what our measurement that we're using. It's centimeters, so 7 centimeters. So I'm going to write over here 7 centimeters. All right, now number 4, they're asking how long is the push pin? Here's my push pin over here. So let's measure, let's count how many spaces the push pin is. 1, 2. So it's 2 centimeters. So we're going to write 2. And actually, we don't need to write the abbreviation for centimeters on the first one because they've already written centimeters for us. Okay, let's look at number 5. How long is the eraser? So let's come over here, look at our eraser. Let's count the spaces for the length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So my eraser is 6 centimeters. I'm going to write a 6 right over there. Okay, if you want to do the next 3 on your own, you can go ahead and pause the video here and then count on your own and then come back and start the video again and check your work. Otherwise, if you want to do a few more with me, let's do number 6. How much longer is the pencil than the glue stick? Okay, so the first thing I need to do is find out how much my pencil is. I haven't measured that one, or I haven't counted the spaces for that one, so I don't know yet. So let's do that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my pencil is 9 centimeters. So they want to know how long my pencil is than my glue stick. So that word tells me I'm going to be subtracting. So I'm going to take my pencil, which is the larger one, 9 centimeters. I'm going to subtract the length of the glue stick, which remember is 7 centimeters. Okay, that means that the pencil is 2 centimeters longer than the glue stick. All right, so number 7. How long are the eraser and the push pin in all? Okay, there's a key word, in all. It tells me I'm going to add, right? So let's see, we want to know the eraser and the push pin. So the eraser is 6 centimeters. I'm going to add, remember, in all, I'm going to add the push pin, which is 2 centimeters. So my total is 8 centimeters. Let's do number 8. How much shorter is the push pin than the pencil? There's that word again, then, which tells me I'm going to subtract. So how much shorter is the push pin than the pencil? We can do this the same way. We're going to start with the larger one. The pencil is 9 centimeters. The push pin is 2 centimeters, so I'm going to subtract 2. I end up with 7 centimeters. So the push pin is 7 centimeters shorter than the pencil. Okay, and that's it for questions 3 through 8. Let's turn the page and do number 9, 10, and 11 together. Okay, let's start at the top and read number 9 together. McKenna is 38 inches tall. Her brother is 26 inches tall. How much taller is McKenna? Really, we could have finished this sentence with, how much taller is McKenna than her brother? And that would help you see a little bit more how we're going to set up the problem. But we know that McKenna is taller because we know that 38 is bigger than 26. So we're going to do the same thing that we've done in the last few problems. We're going to start with 38 inches. We're going to subtract how tall her brother is, which is 26 inches. Okay, and actually let's do this. Let's do this the other way, just so it's easier for you to see. Let's do 38 inches minus 26 inches. Okay, that way we can see it a little bit better. So 8 minus 6, 2. 3 minus 1 is 1. So McKenna is 12 inches taller than her brother. Okay, let's look at number 10. Carly's dog Sebastian is 22 inches long. Her cat Annabelle is 17 inches long. How much longer is Sebastian? Well, this is just like the previous question, right? And one thing I should mention, it's not so important in this lesson, but in a couple lessons or later on in math, you're going to need to pay attention to if this is inches and this is inches. So as long as they give you the measurements both in the same units, so like they're both inches or they're both centimeters or they're both meters, as long as we're talking about the same unit of measure, we can add or subtract or even divide them without having to change them over, okay? So for right now, it's not really important, but I do want to show you that they're talking about inches in both numbers. And so we can just simply, in this case, subtract without having to change inches to centimeters or centimeters to inches, okay? So let's do number 10. Again, we saw that Sebastian's dog is 22 inches long. So let's start with 22. And then her cat, Annabelle, is 17 inches long. So we're going to subtract 17. Okay, so can we subtract 7 from 2? We cannot. So we're going to have to regroup the 10s. We're going to turn that into 1. We're going to put 1 10 over here, which now makes this 12. And now we can subtract 7 from 12. So that is 5. 1 minus 1 is 0. So Sebastian is 5 inches longer than Annabelle. Okay, let's do 11. Levi found a trail in the woods that is 54 meters long. Then he found a second trail that is 83 meters long. How much longer is the second trail? Okay, again, it's important to note that they're using the same unit of measure. They're using meters. And our keyword is how much longer is the second trail. Okay, so that's a hint. We know that the second trail is longer. So we're going to start with how long the second trail is. The second trail is 83 meters. So I'm going to write 83. I'm going to subtract how far the first trail is, which is 54. Okay, now we need to do the math. Can we subtract 4 from 3? We cannot, so we're going to regroup those tens. That becomes a 7. This now becomes a 13. So 13 minus 4 is 9. 7 minus 5 is 2. So how much longer is the second trail? 29 meters. Okay, so how did the number line help you measure the objects? You don't have to write it down, but I want you to see that the number line helps you see, gives you a visual and allows you to count to see how long one object is than the other. Okay? All right, so now it's time for you to do your homework. You're going to be doing the same things that we just did. You're going to be counting on the number line. So let's do page 713 and 714. Don't forget, take a picture and send it to me. I'm waiting for those pictures. See you on the next lesson.